We are live. All right. Got a thumbs up already. Appreciate that thumbs up. Mindset Mondays. Hope everybody is doing well this morning. All right. Had Easter Sunday yesterday. I don't know how many guys do that, but I do. It was pretty badass. It was a good time. I already said the word ass within the first 30 seconds of this video. So there goes my algorithms. We're going to talk about inner circles today. I'm just kind of letting a minute or so pass so people can get the notification and hop on live. Of course, if you guys got any questions about anything, that's what we're here for. You can throw it in the chat and I'll answer them to the best of my abilities. Don't have a lot to talk about on the agenda today. Friday, I was trying to cover a lot in a short period of time, so really didn't get to any questions in the chat. Couldn't too much of, there was some text exchanges and some game stuff I didn't even get to. It's just try to do about an hour in those things. We're going to do less time today, just in between consultation sessions and helping people out on the one-on-one sessions. Try to jump on with a live video, help you guys out who might have quick questions or whatever. But I guess we can get into it real quick, which is your inner circle. How to choose that. What do I mean by your inner circle? These are the people that you know, that you like, and that you trust, and that you're the top people that you would confide in, right? You can be vulnerable to these people. You can let them know your faults. Let them know these are the people that would hide a body for you. All right. We had that saying with amongst my infantry and military friends, right? That he's that kind of guy who, if you said, hey, I got to hide a body, they would roll their eyes, tell you you're an a-hole. And then they would say, okay, let's go. Where do we got to go? Where do we got to put it? And then they had to ask questions later, right? Because they got loyalty to you and they know you, like you, trust you. They trust your values. And you trust their values, and you're watching each other's back. You're watching each other's six, right? And that's kind of no matter what. So you give those people the benefit of the doubt. Recently read a comment. Recently subscribed to your channel. Great content. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. We're completely grassroots here. So if you're not subscribed, most people live are subscribed here, but share stuff too that you find relevant, or share it with people you might know. I'm not monetized. This channel is not a monetized channel, and I'm shadow banned. Okay, so got a couple things going against me there to getting to 1 million subscribers. I'm at a healthy 9,000 right now, and that's okay. That's okay, because the people that have all subscribed are people that are benefiting from the content versus just being entertained by my channel. Those are two different things. There's nothing wrong with entertainment, but some of that entertainment stuff is garbage too, and it's not going to help you. So you got to be careful what you digest for entertainment, but for anything really. But yeah, I'm focused more, not that I'm not entertaining at times, but we're focused on trying to get better and have actionable information, things that'll help you. So I know the guys that people have subscribed, at least most of y'all are pretty, are here because you want to benefit from what I'm putting out. And so that's good for me. I'd rather have 9,000 subscribers that are benefiting from the information versus, hundreds of thousands that don't and are there for entertainment. So it'll get there. But I might actually get monetized within the next month or so. I did all the right steps by YouTube channel standards, so we'll see. I was reluctant to do it though for a while. Didn't really want to be controlled by advertisers, but turned out I really won't be any more than the platform already censors my info. So it is here nor there. When I got my assistant Brittany looking into either Patreon or another community or some sort where we could do other stuff there that I can't do here on YouTube. That's what I'm looking towards doing. But anyway, yeah, it's good. I want to better ourselves each day, dude. That's the name of the game. All right. So Rock says this guy is an absolute legend. Oh, thank you, bro. So on the ball about what makes women tick and talk, or yeah, tick and talk. Thanks, bro. It's been a life study, right? So let's talk about inner circles, though. Okay, so growing up in kind of, you could say, a hard environment. Some of you might be able to know or experience this. You have a lot of douchebag friends. To be real, you got friends around you that they're just not on your level or trying to be on your level, and that's okay. That's all right. I'm not this narcissistic person who only is friends with people for the benefits of that friendship. That's I don't. That's a very strange way of going about making friends and having friendships and relationships if you're only looking at benefits. But that said, though, you want to keep your douchebag friends at arm's length, right? Like, I don't need to go out, and if their level of douchebaggery or behavior is a negative impact on my life, then I need to really limit my time or energy into that person. Doesn't mean I don't like them. Doesn't mean that they're not somebody that I appreciate for whatever reason. Maybe somebody I grew up with or somebody I have ties to. I don't have to hate that person. I don't have to write that person off. Like, if they didn't do anything bad to me, they're not a horrible person doing bad things to other people intentionally and overtly, I don't need to like drop off these people because, well, they don't make six figures and I want to be around six-figure earners, like, or something crazy. Like, I don't, there's a saying that you're a function of, or your success or whatever is kind of a function of the 5 people you hang out with. I don't know who does these things, these studies. Why is it 5? How come it's not 3? How come you're not a function of the 3 people in your inner circle, right? Or how come you're not, if your inner circle's big, how come it's not 10? I don't know where they came up with the number 5. Like, some of these like success, be successful, old adages that people come up with from books like, I don't know, Think and Grow Rich or whatever, and you find out that guy though he had a lot of good advice, was kind of a fraud. Like, like Napoleon Hill, he found out his life and things that he's kind of fabricated a lot. Where do they come up with the stuff, right? The success porn, I call it, where, jump into this. This sounds good. You are a function of the 5 people or hang out with. That sounds good. Actually, makes sense to me. I don't know where they came up with that number. I really don't. But that's okay, right? The point of it is, I'm not worried about the number. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the influences on my life, though. You guys have heard of garbage in, garbage out, right? Into your brain. And that's true. Now, that has been proven through many different studies and disciplines, that when you put garbage and negative stuff or bad things that don't serve you into your brain, right? Whether it's the content you're consuming or the people you're hanging out with and the way that they're influencing you, then you're going to get bad or negative outcomes, or you're going to be constantly fighting against bad or negative outcomes. If I'm circling myself around people who are really negative people, for example, and that have these limiting beliefs that are keeping them down, their mindset and the way that they interact with the world is going to affect me. And now I have to either fight against that constantly in order to have a different paradigm, or I don't challenge those limiting beliefs that they have and the way and their behaviors. And by not challenging them, I end up adopting them. They end up affecting me. And I end up finding myself doing the same patterns of these people that I have around me. And that's really the lesson, whether it's the top 5 people you hang out with, or whether it's 3 or whether it's 10, isn't important. It's that you don't want to have people around you that are limiting your success just based on who they are, right? And so does that mean you write your friends off? That guy you grew up with who spends most of his time at the bar, for example, or that dude who's he's in a blue-pilled marriage, right? That family member or a friend that's in a terrible marriage and just all about the kids and the chores and their job and really quite miserable and not actually chasing excellence, just worrying about the next time that they can watch sports ball on Sunday or whatever. Does that mean never hang out with that guy? Does that mean never go to a gathering or get together with him? If he says, hey, come on over, I'm doing a barbecue, does that mean you don't show up? No, man, these are people in your circle. They're people you bond with. Social bonds are not based on utilitarian reasons unless you're a complete narcissist. So of course, have those friendships. That's fine. But is that somebody though that you're going to have in your inner circle though? Someone that you're going to confide to, show your vulnerabilities to, asks for opinions on, right? Have them influence, like take their opinions as serious and have those opinions influence your behavior. Well, I would hope not, right? So those are people that you don't keep into your inner circle. That's family, friends, whoever. If they have behaviors and belief systems that are limiting, that doesn't mean you don't like them, doesn't mean you don't care about them, doesn't mean you don't have friendships with them, but it does mean that you have to limit how close they are in your inner circle, because you don't want those behaviors that you don't want to adopt to infect your behaviors and goals and the things you're trying to achieve. Achieving things hurt enough on your own without anybody else trying to influence you in the wrong way. So you have to limit those influences to maximize your probability of success, you know? And so I'm not saying abandon your friends. I feel like some of the success, old adages and, advice out there can be a little bit on the narcissistic angle for that. And I just don't agree with that. I mean, being successful means you can take care of people in your environment too, right? Take care of people who are a little bit less fortunate. Take care of people who, help people out who maybe don't have the right paradigm and maybe need to fix that or change that. You can provide be an example to those people as well. But you don't want to be the big fish in the little pond either, right? Where all your friends are douchebags and your mediocre success is like, make you the alpha of the group or whatever. That's not actually a good place to be. If I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong room. All right. So I want to elevate myself by having people in my inner circle, having people I trust and confide in that are more either at my level, above my level, preferably above my level, or, pursuing that. We have the same values and we're kind of moving in that direction. Now, people are flawed. They're going to make mistakes. There's going to be some beliefs and things that are different. People who are in my circle, I don't agree with everything they say. I don't agree with everything they do. The people who are, and a lot of times what you'll have too is you'll have some of the best circles are where that friend that you have is way above and ahead of you in a number of things, but then you're also above and ahead of him a number of things. And so, that exchange, you end up really being a good help to each other because they can lean on you for the things that they're trying to improve on and maybe a little deficient in, or get your advice or whatever, because they trust you and you might be doing well in a certain area, have a different perspective. And then they are doing well and they have a different perspective in areas you're trying to improve in. So those can be really good. But yeah, you just want to basically you're guarding what is going into your brain, whether it's garbage or whether it's good info, right? And good influences. So you want to have least amount of possible garbage going in, right? Because too much garbage goes into your brain. You're not going to be able to filter out all of it. You're not going to be able to vet for all of it. And next thing you know, it's going to start affecting your outcomes, right? And so part of guarding your brain is guarding your inner circle. You don't need to be vulnerable to every person out there, but you should be able to be vulnerable to people in your inner circles. Now, as far as sexual dynamics are concerned, your inner circles are where you show your vulnerabilities that you're not going to show your girl or your woman, right? It's not attractive and not good to be excessively vulnerable. When I say vulnerable, I mean she can know some of your weaknesses as long as she understands and has the confidence that you're handling it, right? But those times where you feel like overwhelmed, like, man, I don't know if I can handle this. I'm genuinely afraid here. I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if I'm competent enough. Those feelings of when you lack that confidence that things are going to be okay, those are the things you don't want to present in front of your woman. Your woman needs to look to you because you're the leader in the relationship. I'll give an example real quick. Then I'll look at the chat some more, read some comments and answer any questions you guys have. But when I'm leading, let's say a fire team, all right, let's just take me to being a regular NCO in the infantry, leading a fire team. All right. Never mind all the special operations stuff and the woo-woo stuff. Let's take it just down to brass tacks infantry. I'm about to go into a situation where there might be a firefight. Let's say as that leader of that fire team, I have fears, I have concerns. I've looked at the mission plan. I know what the enemy situation is, and I know that there's a high risk. I might be concerned about being able to go back to my family or even back to base in one piece after this particular mission or run or whatever we're doing. I might have a lot of concerns depending on where we're going. But I don't air those concerns out to my men that are in that fire team. All right. I don't express that vulnerability. Now, I may express, hey, there's some concerns, but here's how we're going to get over it. Here's how we're going to get mitigated. I'm always expressing any risk or vulnerability or thing that they need to be afraid of. I'm always expressing that in light of, here's the action plan, how we're solving the problem. Action focused, right? And I'm not demonstrating any fears I might have of, dude, I don't know if this is going to work. All right. Or, oh crap, this might not work out well. That brings a extreme amount of fear in front of the guys. I'll tell you one guy, interesting story. I just think of it recently. A soldier I was dealing with, he was out with a special forces team sergeant, and they were in the same vehicle. Comms went down. They were having the guns went down, and they were in a fight. And RPG lands in front of the vehicle, and the team sergeant goes, "Oh shit, dude, this doesn't look good." All right. That simple words right there impacted that soldier who was driving a team sergeant around more than any of the other things going on in that firefight. All right. And they were getting hit like progressively along this route before they finally get in the clear. And why? Because that soldier was confident. And even though they were getting hit, they were getting shot at, they were getting RPG'd, all kinds of stuff, guns are going down. It was a bad combination of a lot of bad things happening. He was all right, and he was focused on the action and focused on the success. And as soon as that team sergeant said that, he was like, "Oh shit, are we going to make it?" Like, what? And then that's what impacted him more about that event than all of the other things going on around him, was just that leader having had that little bit of moment himself. He's a great guy too, so I'm not criticizing him at all, but it happens, and he had that little moment, and the guy was like, "Oh shit," and that impacted him. Well, think about your relationships like that though, right? If you have like concerns, fears, whatever, all right, about things not working out, things blowing up in your face, you losing your job, losing your house, whatever, okay, you don't want to express those fears like, crap, we might not make it. You don't want to express we might not make it to your woman, even your casual plates. All right. They're looking to you for leadership. They want to know that things are going to be okay. They're emotionally erratic because they want to be with someone that can allow them to have those uncertainties and that will tell them that things are going to be good. Your job as a man is to bring certainty into the picture. But you're a human being. You're going to have moments of uncertainty, and that's okay. That's what your inner circle's for. Bringing it back to the conversation here. That's what your inner circle is for, right? When I'm vulnerable about, let's say, bringing it to military circles, I don't dump that on my Joes or my soldiers. I talk to my other NCOs that are part of my circle of guys that are in leadership. I air concerns out with that leadership versus dumping them on my soldiers, because I don't need my soldiers to feel that uncertainty that I'm feeling. I need them to know and to feel certain and that things are going to be okay, because that will bring them into my frame, right? Make them dedicated to the mission and to what we're doing, and will give them the mental stability to accomplish what we need to accomplish. And that in a combat situation brings you home alive. Okay. But in your relationships, that keeps your relationships together, because if you bring uncertainty to the table to her, Well, she now sees that as weaknesses that you have that she now has to overcome. That's not something she wants to do. That puts her in a masculine framework rather than a feminine one. She starts trying to solve all your problems for you, advise you, tell you what to do, and she turns into a masculine force rather than that feminine force in your life that you're attracted to and that you want to be around. Then she tests your frame because she doesn't trust it. And a lot of bad things start happening then, right? And so for you to hold your relationship together, you have to be that masculine force. And you always want to present that certainty. But you might not always feel certain. And that's where you have your inner circle. The people that you know, you like, you trust, that are on your same level, that are, when I say on your same level, I mean just on wavelength, we'll say. They might be better than you on certain things. They might be not so good in you and others, but you're on the same wavelength and you can trust them with your life. They'll help you hide that body. And their behaviors and the things that they're doing, they're not that dysfunctional friend that has a lot going on, that you can't really trust with everything. The inner circle, those individuals, those are the people you can talk to. You can let them know your weaknesses. They're not going to capitalize on those weaknesses because they care about you and they want to elevate you because they know maybe next time there's a conversation, you're having to elevate them, and that's okay. All right. So you want to protect those inner circles and you want to select those people based on who's going to be that positive force in your life, not just on who you like better or who you have the most history with. And picking an inner circle doesn't mean dumping all your friends or, abandoning people in your life. It just means that you know where to keep certain people and how you're guarding their influence on you. All right. So that about concludes those points. Hopefully that made a lot of sense to you guys. Let's go into the chat. I got lots of comments. Let's see what's going on. I'm here for the drama. I don't got any drama, man. I'm pretty drama free. I'm sorry. There's a lot of other channels that got drama. No doubt, especially in the men's help space. You can go get it there. Let's see. Could be the allocation of time for quality of relationship to be maintained. Yeah, you only have a certain amount of time, right? 20 is okay. So this guy, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week would only allow for 5 people. I mean, I guess. Why not 7? I don't know. Why not 3? I don't know. When I was spinning 5 plates in a week, like in other words, banging, that was too much. I mean, it wasn't, but it was, right? I wasn't accomplishing anything. I had to knock it down to like 3. Get Red Pill Vikings, Thor. Red Pill Thor's the man, if you didn't know that. Thank you. Skull, brother. Stud, thank you. You're a stud. All right, cool. Well, if you guys got any questions, shoot them. But we're getting to the end of this. I got a consultation I got to run off to. Yeah, smash the like button, throw some fire in the chat. Free Patriot retracted message, but said he's new here. That's cool. I don't know what you retracted. I'm not even a lot looking at it, but whatever it is, I'm sure I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Steve McQueen, he's back up. He made it back up. I did a half-ass tape job instead of running to the store to reframe all my crap. So looking into getting long-range shooting. Yes, I am into long-range shooting. It's a lot of fun. I don't know what to tell you. I think you should get into it. See, thank you for your insights. Little unrelated, what are your thoughts on plastic surgery for a dude to optimize visual? Yeah, that's a really good question. Ooh, plastic surgery. So dudes getting plastic surgery or dudes doing things. Listen, I'm all for looks maxing. Okay, but you really want to consult with some people that are not even necessarily the doctors, but consult with someone who can act as a image or really an image coach, I guess would be the way to describe it. I mean, someone like me, people do figure out, how to get what their specific look is that they're looking for, their archetype, and how to present that, how to dress, how they need to start tailoring their physique, male grooming, all those things. So you want to get in touch with somebody who, whether it's a friend Or in my case, when I'm helping guys get more dates, we start with their SMV and I do some image consulting for them, right? And that it's the image that you want to portray. A guy who is an electrician or a builder, lives his life that way, for example, he's going to present a different image than a guy who is a banker, So it's not all universal. I'm not going to tell you how to tailor your suit. All right. Or where to go, what you should be looking for getting a tailored suit. If you're not really wearing tailored suits very often, that's not really much of a discussion we'd have in a consultation. But how you present, how you accessorize, how you tailor your clothes, your dress, to your environment, and those things are important. So yes, this is circling back to plastic surgery or any kind of surgical means or taking that route. Look, I would talk to that image consultant first and see what it is you need to work on it in total. And I say that because I don't know what's going on up here with you. All right. And I don't know what things you're trying to fix. Some people get it's a condition. I'm gonna screw it up now, the name of it. But it's bodybuilders can get it. I've experienced it a little bit. It's body dysmorphia, right? It's where you perceive, literally, some people will look in the mirror and they don't perceive themselves or see themselves the way the outside world actually sees them. So, for example, a bodybuilder that has a lot of muscle sees himself as small, even though he's got a fair amount of muscle tissue. And that could be an example. Or people see themselves as ugly when they're not ugly at all. Or, the list kind of goes on. Like, your brain does certain things and can actually mess with your perceptions of yourself. So you need a second opinion. Don't just start getting plastic surgery and thinking that's the answer. And a lot of times there's things that you are focused on and you think you need to fix. And dude, you don't need to fix it at all. It's not even a problem. It's just something that you think is limiting you or holding you back, but really isn't. And so we want to vet for that first, especially before you get under the knife and transform your body in a way that may be permanent, right? That's something else, right? But let's say a guy got into an accident and smashed his face up and lost, of course you'd get plastic surgery to fix himself, right? And to get his body and his face back to as best back to normal as he could. So I'm not going to sit here and rail against doing surgical methods for fixing or correcting, body flaws or facial flaws that may be necessary. If somebody has, something that's really holding them back, you could get dental work, for example, cosmetic dental work. Some people might need that if they had teeth problems, haven't taken care of that. That's one of the first things a lot of guys need to do, is that their teeth are messed up and stained and all this. And, you need to go spend a little bit of money and get your teeth squared away. That's a big one. So there's all kinds of stuff, but going down the road of you don't want to go down the Michael Jackson route, right? That would be an extreme case, but there's a great example. When Michael Jackson, when that man looked in the mirror and saw himself, he saw himself as disgusting. He saw himself as ugly, no matter what he was looking at, whether pre-plastic surgery, post-surgery, didn't matter. He saw himself as flawed and would try to get it done with surgical means. Don't want to see anybody go down that route. I don't want to see anybody focus on the wrong things, because what you think you might need to fix, you might not need to fix at all. So book a session with somebody who can give you image consulting. Yes, that is something I do, but I do in the context of game and helping guys increase their SMV when we get them out in the dating market. So I'm not saying you necessarily have to hire me for it, but it might even just be a really trusted friend, inner circle, right? That can give you a real opinion that's objective. And if you're running into mental blocks or flaws, with that, you might want to go talk to somebody with that. But definitely make sure what's going on up here is right, and then what procedure you're thinking of doing is a necessary one. All right, I'm going to have to go soon. I do have somebody waiting in the queue here for a consultation. Let's see, all my main homies are having children. I know I will need a new group of people to hang out with once all my friends and kids get older. Yeah, you will. They'll be tied up with their families, and you'll have to have some other people to hang with. And they become more tied down. I'm 27. Should I move to the city? Well, I mean, I guess it's up to you, man. I mean, it's if you're 27, single guy, you can go wherever you want. Yeah, move where you want to, you know. I mean, if that's gonna, don't just move there to meet new friends, but if that means, if moving to a different place means more opportunity and better things for you, yeah, of course. Um, what if I see myself as good looking, but I'm actually ugly? That happens, right? That does happen, dude. There's so many people out there who think they're dressing cool and looking cool, and they don't look cool. This is why you want to get a second opinion. This is where Inner Circle helps out, right? Or if, again, if you're talking to a dating pickup coach, or like someone like myself, I'll tell you what people perceive you as, the truth, so to speak. Yeah, you want to get objective opinions about yourself for sure. You talked about this on the Stereo app yesterday. Yeah, I do. If you guys are on Stereo, there's an app called Stereo. There's podcasts, and about 3 weeks out of the 4 in a month, I do a podcast with Rich Cooper, and we say a lot of things we can't say on YouTube, so it's kind of fun. So if you want, it's at 9:00 in the morning on Sundays. Go check it out. It's called, I announce it all the time on my social media platforms. It's called the Unplugged Alpha Podcast. Anyway, Jerry's asking about this though. So you talked about on the Stereo app yesterday, behavior when it comes to diet and nutrition. Can you expand on that? Probably not in the amount of time I have left here, but that could maybe be another video. But yeah, Jerry had asked yesterday on the podcast about dieting, and that's been his biggest concern. So what I'm telling people about dieting is habituation, or it's a behavior. So how you eat is actually a behavior, right? And of course it is, right? But I mean, people don't really they focus on the food and they focus on other things. They don't really realize or think about it, that your dieting is a behavior that's based on habits. All right. Most of our behaviors are due to what's called habituation, which is just habitual things we do without thinking, things we're not conscious of. So you want to approach your diet plan in a way where you're going to try to change or tailor or fix behaviors. Fixing behaviors or habits is a lot more difficult than, I mean, it sounds so easy. Well, just don't eat this or eat that, right? That sounds really easy, but why don't people adhere to it? Why do most people fail when they diet? Why do most people go back to their previous weight and end up being worse after a diet? Because they're not approaching it behaviorally. So you have to approach your diet plan, your workout plan, as if they're a set of behaviors that you need to recondition into yourself. And so that means tracking some sort of, every diet plan that works has some way of tracking, even if it's like just up here, like intermittent fasting. Oh, I don't eat this amount of time, I eat this amount of time. Well, you're kind of using your time that you're eating as a means of sort of calibrating your calories. It is a way of tracking, even though it's probably the most minor way of tracking. But when you're tracking what you're eating, you're tracking behaviors is what you're doing. And then you start to tailor, recondition those behaviors. And you consider it like a behavioral plan, which means it doesn't happen overnight. And you want to come up with a behavioral plan that you can habituate. In other words, make these things habits, so that when you are off the diet and no longer calorie restricted, you have a new set of habits that will keep the weight off, versus, okay, cool, I dieted, now I go back to all my old behaviors because I didn't recondition any behaviors. I just considered this a program, right? And I restricted myself, and now, okay, back to normal. No, normal has to be a new normal for you, right? If you want to lose fat and keep the fat off and be in good shape, your normal has to be behaviors that will promote that physique that you want. You get what I'm saying? Can't be calorie restricted all the time, but your normal eating behaviors for maintenance calories has to be different than what got you fat in the first place. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what you're doing with a diet plan, is you're reconditioning, tailoring behaviors, as well as calorie restriction and whatever. Because restriction in the diet, right, you only be able to do that for a short amount of time, and then eventually you start to fight, your body starts to fight against that. And so then you got to oscillate between at least maintenance and then back on diet. All right, just the way it goes. But when you're in maintenance or off diet, it's the behaviors you have to have reconditioned, or else you're just not going to be successful. Okay, that's about it, man. I got to close this off. I got a guy waiting in the queue. And that's it, man. Thanks for logging in. All right, we had a nice little group of you guys here. Had a nice little conversation. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, jam that like button if you haven't. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Because I'm not monetized and kind of shadow banned, I noticed that some of my subscribers, like people have told me this, they'll hit the subscribe and notification, and then YouTube just unsubscribes them or removes it on them for whatever reason. I think it's just a glitch or whatever. I'm not sure why. So you might have to check that, go back and hit that button again. All right. Hope you guys liked the chat today. Mindset Mondays. Make it a great week. Talk to you guys later on.